In yet another display of bias and hysteria, many in the mainstream media jumped at the chance to point fingers after a series of suspicious packages were sent to prominent Democrats this week. The news media was quick to jump to conclusions and put the blame on President Trump. MSNBC's Katy exploded when a guest said both sides should tone down their political rhetoric.
But I do think it's pretty clear when you're talking about this toxic political environment that it did start with, mostly with Donald Trump in 2015. He began his campaign by calling Mexicans rapists. He repeatedly cheered on crowds that were screaming, "Lock her up for Hillary Clinton." He told protesters that he would pay their legal bills if they punched, or supporters if they punched protesters.
Right.
And hold on, I'm still going.
Barack Obama and take a gun to a knife fight, or to Hispanic voters that Republicans are giving me? Or do we go back to the Weather Underground in 1960 or Tim McVeigh in the 1990s?
Have you ever heard a politician other than Donald Trump say, "I'm so proud," or give a kudos to another politician who body slammed a reporter? Have you ever heard that from anybody else other than Donald Trump?
Well, and Katy, the responsibility
no, it's Eric.
really
Eric
is
is going to answer this question. Hold on, Donna. Have you heard that from anyone else?
I think that Donald Trump is a symptom of what's going on in this country. Now,
my blood pressure is going up because he advocates violence, or he celebrates violence.
Donald Trump is not to blame for the
people.
mass shooting against Republicans last year. You had Democrats saying that Republicans were killing people. Both sides are to blame. And if you're going to say it's just Donald Trump, what you're going to do is you're going to have 50% of the country say, you know what, she's not really interested in a solution. I think both sides have to step back and say,
I think everybody needs to take
responsibility
responsibility for their own actions, but to say that it didn't get lowered, that the bar did not get demonstrably lowered when Donald Trump started running for office.
We forget so quickly that the country lived through 8 years of extreme identity politics under President Obama's administration, and that really tore at our society and at our culture. Right now, civility is so incredibly important. Both sides need to contribute to it, but how are we supposed to engage in civility when the mainstream media can't even give us the facts we need to have those conversations? We also forget recently, during the entire Kavanaugh ordeal, one senator's wife was sent a photo of a gruesome decapitation. Other senators, all of their personal information was put online, putting their families in dangerous situations. In previous months, we've had cabinet officials chased out of restaurants and put in precarious situations. This is a problem we're having nationwide, and all of us can contribute to make it go away.
Remember when NBC News interviewed Julie Swetnick, one of the women who accused Justice Kavanaugh a couple of weeks ago?
Describe to me what you saw him do.
He was very aggressive, very sloppy drunk, very mean drunk. I saw him go up to girls and paw on them, try to, get a little too handsy, touching them.
Well, we're now finding out that NBC had information that could potentially undermine the credibility of the investigation. However, the news organization didn't report it until this week. This really gets to the heart of why there was so much frustration with the media during these Kavanaugh hearings. They were quick to run out and jump in front of stories that didn't exactly have corroborating facts, and now it turns out that they did have facts that didn't exactly go in line with the stories they're reporting, and they sat on it until now when these hearings are over. I think this shows why people are so frustrated with the media, why they believe that a lot of the information out there is incorrect, and that it shows how the media is willing to jump in front of stories because they have an ideological bent, even if they haven't gotten all their facts straight. It's why people are frustrated and don't think that the media is being straight with them. Well, one thing was clear this week. The media certainly swung and they missed.
Well, Jared, obviously it's been a very inflammatory week here in Washington, D.C. yet again, and when it comes to civility, there's a lot of responsibility on everyday Americans, average citizens, on the media, on people who are government officials, and here on this show, I know we try to hold the media accountable and point out hypocrisy and bad examples when we can, and this week the New York Times did something kind of atrocious considering the news cycle that we're in.
Yeah, especially, these attacks on President Donald Trump for being uncivil, things like that. So we have the New York Times publishing a piece that was essentially assassination fan fiction. that I think was very inappropriate, especially in this week, that I think Representative Steve Scalise rightly went against, and he said that maybe they should retract this article, especially in these times. He would have a little experience with this, and it does show maybe the media does sometimes need to look into the mirror, especially when it comes to these issues.
It certainly was not the best week to put out an assassination fan fiction, and how powerful for Steve Scalise, who was almost the victim of an assassination and whose story gets forgotten so quickly. What a powerful thing for him to come out and stand up for. Well, thanks for watching. Be sure to follow us on Facebook.
And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to send us your media misses to MediaMisses@dailysignal.com.